So, I'm just recording the intro to this guy that I have on my podcast. His name's oh man, he not
Captain
Deirdre.
Awesome.
Dino, that's his name. Dino something Bletsas. I think he has like a really weird like moniker that someone gave him. I'm not sure why. I think we get into it at some point in the podcast. He's not like a memorable dude, so I don't know. I don't know why. Like all of the details about this guy are completely escaping me. But I think it's okay. I think I really carried the conversation, so it's worth listening just for that. Here's my interview for Dino, the genetic marvel.
Right in the back of the head.
This is it. This is the show. I'm gonna start it like a insecure middle school kid. I feel like we're friends. I feel like we've gotten to know each other pretty well. But I mean, it's hard to say in like when you do comedy like this because you get like acquaintance level with a lot of people, and then like you don't know exactly what the nature of the relationship is.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I've always the way I see it is we don't have to be bedmates.
No.
But it'd be nice if we could be friends.
Yes.
And that takes time though, right? Because like you said, I personally
A lot of people come in hot, and then you're just you don't.
And then you realize they're garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I go. There's three levels of friendship for me. It's people that I know.
Yeah.
People that I associate with, so someone like I work with, or someone who I do gigs with, something
Right,
like that,
right.
And then people who are actually friends. And obviously, friends has varying degrees.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like for me, I have my own problems. I don't want any drama. I don't want any of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why.
I don't want to be your therapist or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a lot of comedians. Like they come in and it's like, all right, I didn't want to hear all about your terrible week. Like
Yeah, I just said hi. I'm not
Yeah.
And that's
And when I say how are you doing,
yeah.
I'm
I don't
being
care.
courteous.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm trying to be a nice guy.
Well, that's the funny thing is so many people use comedy as therapy, and there's no doubt that stand-up has a therapeutic result, but
That
using
should
it as therapy
be
doesn't.
the reason.
Yeah, right. Like I
Should
feel
be
like that's
byproducts.
it's a tertiary benefit.
That's a great word for it.
You know.
A great word use. I always like when I get to like break out like big words that are in my lexicon.
Me too.
Like I've been trying to figure out how to bring in like into my life more often artistic verisimilitude. Like
Verisimilitude, yes.
Verisimilitude, like
Yes.
that word, like I love that word. I fell in love with it from a Gary Gulman joke. Where, like I don't know if you ever heard it. He does this joke about role play. It's like a 7-minute monologue of a joke of him talking about role playing with his girlfriend. And if you haven't heard it, it's incredible.
Verisimilitude, what it means, it's the.
On the artistic verisimilitude, it means like you're committed to like what you're doing, like you're taking things seriously. Like the like it's verifiable. It's like a real thing. Like you're acting as though it's something real.
Dictionary.com because I'm crazy.
Yes.
Yep. One of the.
So while you look that up, I'll explain to you what the general thing. I give you like a little intro into like what's this about. I'm gonna put this pillow behind my back. Because I feel like an old person. It's called
The truth.
Yes.
There you go.
So it's called Outside the Party because all of the things that I like about myself now, I feel are byproducts of the things I was excluded from or bullied for. So I was never invited to the parties in high school and through most of my life until I decided to become a different person when I got to university.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm thankful on the back end now of being outside the party. I'm thankful of the things that were happening, and so I guess forecasted forward, my goal is eventually I'd like to. When I first came up to this, I wanted to alternate between interviewing someone who was popular in high school and someone who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I've come to realize that most of the popular people probably aren't interesting to talk to,
Yeah.
or
wouldn't want to talk to me, you know, because like I feel like that popular sticks around. You know?
You know what the funny thing is that a lot of those people peaked there,
Mhm.
and those are the same ones who are constantly reminiscing about it. Interestingly enough, for myself, like I by nature I'm an introvert. I don't like interaction. I don't like those things.
Yeah, I mean, in conversation, like when we're hanging out outside of a comedy show and stuff, like you're a little bit, you're not as verbose as most people. You're a little bit more reserved. But when you say something, it hits. Like you pick. I feel like you pick your moments, and
Yeah.
you're really good at it.
I try very hard.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is grade 6, 7, and 8.
All right, I'm gonna pull these out because I feel like I can hear it properly.
Grade 6, 7, and 8. I use that time kind of just to observe. Because that early I realized that if I wanted to achieve what I wanted to achieve in life, I could not be an introvert. So I had to figure out how to be.
Yes, I was an introvert for a long time as well. Actually, I wouldn't say I was an introvert. I was scared of social situations where I wasn't in control. So like around my family and my friends and stuff.
Different.
Outside, I was the loudest one. I sort of like ran my friend group. Like I was the one that planned things, made sure that we hung out, we did things.
Yeah.
But like when it came to, because I think I was bullied and I was treated like shit throughout like school, like.
Yeah.
When it came to school, I wasn't comfortable in those types of social situations, with the exception of when I was in class. I was like, this is my shit.
Yeah.
Like, because I was one of the smart kids, like, so
well,
that was my
protected environment.
Yes,
too,
yes,
right?
yes. And the teachers liked me because, I wasn't a shit, so.
Oh, nobody liked that. Yeah, no, that wasn't. That's fine. Well, when I went to high school, so I have a brother who's 2 years older than I am.
Okay.
So he would like bring his friends over, bring them home for lunch and stuff like that. So if I was off or was sick, I would be talking with them and I would meet all these people, right? So when I went to high school, I met all these people, but at the same time, it was around grade 9 that I got my almost full height and girth.
Okay.
So
So you sort of grew like someone grabbing like the top corner of a picture on an editor and just went like that.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was funny. So I don't know if this was around when you hit high school was initiation. You get grade 9, and what some of the older kids will beat you up.
Yeah. It was like
wedgie something like.
It wasn't. I went to a pretty progressive like high school, so like, and it was a Catholic school, so there wasn't that much hate. It was more like
rape.
like
more rapey.
Yeah, the priest. But it was. It was more like people would just be mean to you, like, and just say things to you, and like sort of like. But I didn't have that because when I went into grade 9, I looked older, so I looked like a transfer student into like grade 10 or 11.
So you just
So people were surprised to like find out that I was in grade 9 because like I've always looked like older than I was. Because it's like, I mean, feel like you're in the same thing, but like in like around like grade 8, I just sort of like started looking like, because I got like that like brown kid mustache, like like that rapey mustache. Yeah. Like and like looking back at pictures and stuff, I was kind of like, you could have started me shaving earlier. like to my parents, I'm like, you didn't want to. Yeah. Like now I have a mustache and stuff by choice. But like back then, it wasn't good.
No, it's really.
And it was just the mustache.
Yeah, and barely that. That was one guy came. So where most of the grade 9s had their classes, it was on a second floor, and there was one bathroom. So between classes, we were in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And this guy that my brother knew, who was one of the very cool gangster kids.
Yeah.
Not very cool. And he was dumb. He comes in, he's like,
it's weird how that can feel like the world, though.
Oh,
right? Like, school feels like the world.
Oh, yeah, it's the end all be all.
Yeah.
So he walks in and he's like, Niners! And literally you could hear everyone just shit.
Yeah.
And then he turns, he's like, Dino! And I was like, fuck. And sure enough, he threw a couple punches, a couple kicks, and I was like, you done? And he was, so the funny thing was, he was a lanky guy. He was taller than I am. He was probably around like 6'6".
Yeah.
And at that point I was probably around almost 6'1". Right now I'm just shy of 6'2".
Yeah.
So I was kind of like almost full, right?
Yeah. You'd almost reached your final form.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just so angry that I was like, all right, because like I said it in my sets, is that I grew up I had 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Right.
So those 3 brothers, that's 2 tag teams. So growing up, we just kicked the shit out of each other. So I could take a beating all day long.
Yeah.
And he was just exasperated that I wasn't like, and I was like, is that it?
You didn't get the response that he wanted.
Well, I was tempted to grab him and give him a swirly.
Yeah.
But I was just like, all right. And
Yeah.
he just kind of left in frustration. But
Yeah.
that was the funny thing was everybody in the bathroom was like, holy shit.
Impressed with you or scared of him?
Impressed with me.
Ah.
And that kind of really swung things. So at lunchtime, literally, I saw a couple people that I knew that were older. I was like, hey, what's up? They're like, hey, come sit down. So I sat down, and then literally you saw a bunch of grade 9s walk into the cafeteria. First time we ever had a cafeteria
Yes.
growing up
Yes.
either, right?
That was an interesting thing. Like, I mean, I was apprehensive walking in.
Everybody was.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Mm.
So I was like, yo, and they're like, come sit with me. These were like, come sit with me. I'm like, fuck you, I'm going there. And then literally they walk
Felt like
in,
a king.
and
Yeah.
they huddled like kind of by the door, and they're and they see me, and I'm like, yeah, and I hit the table. This was a thing, like we would play dominoes and stuff like that, and you're just like, boom, and hit the table. We would laugh, hit the table, and it would make huge noise. It was a big room, and they kind of just gravitated. So all of a sudden, my table was probably about 6 of those kind of 3 by 8 foot.
Yes, like
tables.
3 people on each side, type of per table type of thing.
If not 4, like it was.
Yeah.
There's like 6 of them,
Yeah.
and it's packed. And I'm literally at like the head of the table because I was like, I'm not sitting on the side, I'm sitting on the end because I need more space.
Holding court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, and that was it.
So you dropped earlier that you were bullied and stuff, but like I guess did that stop when you got to high school, or like you learned how to deal with it and like
The only time, so the real time I was bullied, it was grade 6.
yeah.
And growing up, so I was always bigger than everybody else,
Mhm.
right? My parents were like, don't touch anyone. This was instilled in me because they're concerned.
You can't hurt them. Yes.
Right, and not knowing, and that's
Yes.
like so.
Not knowing your
You've never
power.
seen me actually get shit faced. So when I actually get shit, like when it starts to happen, the first thing is I forget how strong I am.
Yes.
So I'll walk up to someone and be like, hey man, and clap them back, and they're like, ah, why? And I'm like, oh, sorry, forgot I'm a giant. And so it's yeah. So if I'm kind of in the middle,
I apologize.
Yeah. Sorry, human. It's So they were like, don't touch anything, don't touch anything. So this guy was.
I'm just
hitting me.
picturing Hulk puberty hooping.
Exactly. So this guy was hitting me and stuff, and like I didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of at my wit's end. My parents were like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean this guy's hitting you? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. They're like, you hit him back, and I'm like, you told me not to touch anyone. They're like, well, yeah, you hit somebody. If they hit you, if they hit you, you hit them back. And I'm like, I really could have used that information quite a while ago.
Yeah, you left out that that part of the advice.
And that's the thing is, so I've always had that that was really ingrained in me growing up.
Yeah.
Not to touch people. So when I worked for the bank, it was doubly so, where it's like can't have a record, can't have any of those things. So I always look to diffuse a situation.
Right.
But those things have changed. So I'm like, I've had to throw down in the past, and I love it. But at the same time,
it's so much fun.
I
mean, like, I'm not a fighter. Like, I've never been in a true fight because any altercation I've been in, like, because a lot of times it happens in club type situations in low light. I look scary in low light. Like I look a little like I'm the person you want to avoid. Like I mean that's the good thing on the fight side. Bad thing in like trying to like talk to women. Because I also look scary to them, but like it's I'm not like I mean when I was with my ex for like we would go out infrequently to like club type situations, but it would like always happen like whenever we're there like someone would invariably she was a beautiful girl someone would grab her ass or like try and touch her, and then I do my thing, right? Like I had to step in and be like, and then one time was this guy, he must have been in his 40s, right? And I was 19 or 20, and she was the same age, and then he like grabbed her ass, and it was on Halloween, and he was wearing a cowboy hat, and I had to walk him like, you want to do this right now? You want to do this? Like, and I pushed him, and like I was like his buddies were around him like. Take care of him because if this is gonna progress, like he's gonna get the shit beaten out of him wearing a cowboy hat. That's what's gonna happen. But like, but I never let myself really get angry at all in high school. I was never like directly bullied. It was more like I was just ignored and excluded and type of thing. Like name the podcast outside the park, but it was intentional, right? Like, and then I knew it was intentional because like people would only talk to me when they needed something. Because I was a smart kid, it'd be like, hey, did you do the homework? Like, no, fuck off. Like, you don't give me the time of day any other time in your life. Like, no, this is my thing.
Yeah.
You
and go fuck the wall.
Yeah. But I never let myself get angry because it kind of went away now, like I guess with age or whatever. But when I got angry, I never let it happen. So like it would build up, and then I would get like super angry, and I would cry. I would cry when I got angry, right? So like if I got into a fight, like tears coming down my face while red faced and furious, right?
Yeah.
So
all emotion just all of a sudden comes out.
It's a floodgate, and like I don't have any problem talking about it now, but like
no,
it was always something to be like.
It's like it's embarrassing.
Yes, it is. I mean, not that I think it was like it is embarrassing, like to be like. In an altercation and crying, like it sort of takes away a bit of the thing. But I mean, in the moment, it probably still works and it works in your favor. It's like, oh, this guy's a little bit nuts. But like after the fact, I didn't want it to ever have to be like someone talking about that.
Prior.
Like that's part of the thing, right?
Yeah. And at the same time too is when you're in that situation, when you do lose your cool, it almost feels like you let them win you too, right?
Yes.
And it's just and then it's just like comedy. Like once it's out of your mouth, it's out of your control.
Yes.
So you lose your cool. There's no relation of information in regards to the situation, what happened.
You don't control the narrative anymore.
Exactly, and that gets passed on, and then you'll be labeled like the guy who cries, and you're just like, nobody needs that shit.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why it's like when I got bullied. So that was grade 6. That was the last time it happened.
Right.
And that was. Like in high school, there were a couple times where shit went down and stuff. But I was reasonably popular in high school.
It sounds like you came into your own.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit earlier than I did. Like I came into my I came to I guess love myself or be okay with who I was
in university.
First day of university.
Yeah.
Like I sat there for like I might have mentioned it on the podcast before, but I'll say it quickly. Like I sat there on like after my parents helped me move in, and like I was sitting there on my bed by myself before my roommate got there. I hadn't talked to anyone yet, and I just sat there for like a good little while and just talked to myself in my head and like, you're gonna make this a different experience. Like you're going to make things intentional. You're going to control your life. You're not gonna let other people be.
Yeah.
Like dictate how you enjoy what's happening.
This is your show now.
So like I mean I lived up to it. I'm proud to say like I went out like I just talked to anyone that I felt like talking to. I was like, hey, how's it going? I'm Nick. Nice to meet you. Any girl I felt like I was like attracted to, went up, talked to her, asked for a number. I mean. Weirdly like in most times in life you do that like 9 times out of 10 you're getting a no. But in first year of university. I was having like a 90% success rate.
Nice.
Because people were like everyone else was insecure about going into this new situation and they were starving for like a connection. So like
I know that guy.
Yeah. So I got like 300 numbers like in like the first week. Like and I had to keep track of them because this is hilarious. In the company name, like on my phone, I put McMaster. Like so so I knew it's like, oh yeah, this is the girl from sometimes like last day would be like where I met them and like I remember one it was like Crystal Arch conversation because we had a conversation beside an arch.
That works.
You don't need to put efforts up that. Sometimes it writes itself.
Well, that's the thing is, like I remember even I think it was my grade 12 yearbook. I forgot who it was, but someone I think they didn't even sign their name. They just wrote in my yearbook that. Seeing my smiling face every day really helped high school be bearable. That's
amazing, man.
Well, that was the funny thing.
It's almost better that they didn't write their name because they didn't want recognition for it. They were just saying thank you.
And that was the thing is like looking the way I look. Like I've made that joke before. It's like I walk around with a smile to be like, I'm a giant that's not gonna eat you.
Yes.
And
I ate before. You're fine.
Well, that's the funny thing is I'm not approachable. I'm not.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed at how many times I've gone to a show, they like me, they're like, dude, every time I get a spot, they're really kind to me. I'll bring Duffy in, and then I'll introduce him. They'll invite him to another show. They haven't invited me,
Right.
which I'm like, the fuck? Then, when he goes, they're like, well, why didn't you bring Dino?
Oh, you thought you were a package deal or something?
Well, I don't know.
Or they didn't want to. Were they scared of asking you? Or
I don't know.
I guess we're just shooting spitballs. We don't know what the answer is.
That's the funniest part is that I finally show up and they're like, hey man, finally you came, and I'm like, really?
You didn't?
Oh, okay.
You didn't ask me?
And that's the funny thing is like, I do enjoy not being approachable in certain circumstances.
It's nice sometimes.
But at the same time, it kind of reminds me.
Do you like it? You must love this because it happens to me too. It's like anytime there's a crowded room or like in a mall or anytime there's there's a herd of people, I cut through like a scythe. I mean it's a bit like I've said it before, but like I have rusty terrorist face.
Yeah.
So like me expressionless, I look like an axe murderer. A little bit because I can't, my eyes can go a little bit dead. A little bit, and like, cause I have that jutting brow, so there's a bit of a shadow, so it looks like I'm wearing like eye black sometimes, and like, so it's great. Like, it's like whenever like friends are like, "Oh my God, it's packed. How are we gonna get through?" I'm like, "Just follow me."
Well, that's the funny thing is, I'll try and put somebody small ahead of me, and they kind of like becomes a spear.
Yeah.
And I just like literally hold them like, and but yeah, it's just
like a battering ram.
Yeah. Well. That for me, I have Cro-Magnon resting face.
Yeah.
So, like my wife, so I have a wrinkle right across my forehead, and that's because when I'm looking at people, I raise my eyebrows to try and look more.
Yes,
right?
yes, I do that too. Yeah.
So the funny thing is,
we're gonna need Botox early. Yeah.
She's like, I don't like that. I'm like, oh, I can get rid of it. She goes, oh, really? Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, no, don't do that. And I'm like, ta-da! Yeah. That's how that works, you know. So
I got the wrinkles because like this is one of my expressions. This one is one of my expressions, and this one's one of my expressions. And then all of them make this
The key is not to be wide-eyed, just raised eyebrows. So it's like you're like, okay, and people just kind of, oh, you're approachable, and I'm like, no, I'm really not. But it's funny because that.
But you find with that, I find like on stage it's good because like I find that I have a very expressive face. Like I have a lot of range on like what I can do with it because I have these eyes. I can bug them out like this and like make it look a little bit crazed. Like I can do some stuff. I'm gonna do this again. I can do some stuff with my eyebrows and stuff like.
Well, that's the funny thing is because half my face is covered in hair.
Yes.
Not so much.
Right.
Right. There's that, and the funny, my wife hates when I shave my beard off.
Right.
She's like, okay, come back and
need a little cushion, right?
It's not even that. Well, I look very young without my beard. And she's like, no. Because she's always, like when we first started dating, I've always had facial hair.
Right.
But
I think you told me you shaved it off for the wedding, right? Was that just for the pictures into posterity? Or?
No, just before.
Okay.
And then I just let it grow back a little bit. Like it was, I
just a bit of a cleaner look?
Well, I went clean, and then just let it fluff in, right?
Yeah.
But in general, I used to try and like go clean, at least like just shave it off and then let it grow back. Every
let the skin
couple of
breathe
years
or whatever.
Yeah. And now I haven't done it in a while. And I've been thinking about it, but at the same time, like when I do shave.
But you have this is your tick, right? This is your.
Oh yeah.
This is your like when you're thinking like this is what you do. Like I do that too. Like and actually someone called me on it yesterday. They were like I made fun of like some mannerism they had and like they were like oh yeah what do you like because this is what I like this is my thing now.
But me and Angela, I'm like and I start twisting it.
Yes.
And people are just like watching me twist it. It's great. But the funny thing is
you need to go as a Viking or something for Halloween this year, just with the braids. Like,
dude, when I shave, people who know me for years will walk right by me.
Right. Well, because I think like you don't know what like with this like you're not sure where your chin ends.
Well,
right.
The thing is,
so like I don't think I even
kind of noticeable.
Yeah, I don't think I have a sense of like what your face like shape. I'm guessing it goes like this, like it's got like a bit of like a half moon, like a heart shape.
It's actually pretty square.
Oh, is it square?
Yeah.
See, like that, and that's why like I think people can walk by.
It's
Okay. Yeah.
The bottom kind of fluffs up.
Yeah. No, but you have a chin.
Yeah. I have a chin. Yeah, I have a man chin. It's the funny thing
I feel
is,
bad for people who don't have, especially when you see girls who don't have chins, because like that's rough. Because then they like even if they're in pretty good shape, like they get immediately get like a double chin.
yeah, they go, ha, you're, whoa,
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah. Well, like, and then you find like they always do this type of thing,
And then
right?
the giraffe,
And then the second that they go like this, it's like, oh, okay, all right.
That's
I understand. That's why that's your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious because like literally I'll be standing there, people walk by, I'm like, hey man, and they're like, hey, what the hell? Like the last time I did it at when I was working, one guy was like, I didn't know it was bringing your teenager to work day.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. And another old lady, she's like, wow, without a beard you look so approachable, which is totally not the case. I'm like, I know, that's why I grow the beard.
Oh, these backhanded compliments.
Oh yeah, constantly. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of my like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just because.
One that I got that I'm choosing to take as a compliment was that I got that I look like a value brand Jason Momoa.
That's a compliment.
And I was like, take it. I'm gonna
Even
take
the
it.
discounted version.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
That's that works.
All right, like I guess I'm not as built, but like I got that long.
Who cares?
Yeah, just run with it. Like
You know how much of a pain in the ass that shit is?
I'll be Aquaman. I'll take Aquaman. I'll take Khal Drogo.
Dude, you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to look like that all the time?
Yeah.
Like I need that problem.
Oh man.
That's why even like dude, when I was younger, I worked out all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my goal was never to be like ripped, because I'm just like, yeah, no, I have no interest in that. Strong, absolutely. Ripped? Fuck off.
I had a minute where I got to like into a bodybuilder-ish phase where like for like probably like 2.5 months I looked good, like I had big shoulders, big arms, like my legs were pretty big, and I was starting to get a flat stomach, and then I got into a relationship, got lazy, and then started going for all you can eat sushi like once to two or bi-weekly or weekly. And just stuffing my face and enjoying playing video games, because I took math in school, so you didn't have to go to lecture that much, you know. I was good at learning from the textbook. I could teach myself a lot. Yeah.
Well, I always. Oh man.
I'm not ignoring you. I have a nervous tick that I keep, because when I was doing the what's it called, the with the interview with I did one with Andy. The camera ran out of what's it called, memory, like halfway through. So then I was like, then I got worried that it wasn't recording anymore.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like, oh okay.
Does it record by itself, or do you have it?
No, so it's like I got the app on my phone, so it records to itself.
Yeah.
But this is just like the control for it, like, and then so like it lets me like have a feed and stuff, and then.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's fun. Like, but now like you can see I hooked it up to a power cord, because I don't want that to happen again, because I get to go edit it and see where it cut off, because and then I said in the interview, there's a still from like the Matt Duffy thing where like it's us two, like I think you took the picture of us. It's us two like in our like get ups, and I said I'll just insert that as the still for the rest of the video.
That works.
Yeah. Because then it's still.
Put something over his face.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't want to scare people off with the his weird cherubish face.
Oh boy. Yeah. No, it's that's the funny thing is like I really like when I was 12 years old, I did a talk in front of 1,000 people. No problem. Yeah. I'm very used to public speaking and all that kind of stuff. And I was.
Well, I mean, it makes sense by the story you told. Like, you were holding court.
Yeah.
You were at the head of the table.
Yeah.
You were. I mean, I guess you have a magnetic personality. Like, I think that's why I'm kind of drawn to you. Like
gravitational pull.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. But it's like, I mean, like, but it's like. You're a little bit more reserved, a little bit more, a little bit standoffish, I guess, when you're first around people, but like I said, when you get up on stage and you say, I'm tired, I'm in, right? I talked to you for the first time at like whatever Friend Zone show I guess that we met at, or Toronto, whatever show it was. But you know what I mean, like we like it doesn't really matter what the timeline is, but like I was immediately like attracted to you as a person, like just someone that I was like I think this is someone like I can form a relationship that's ongoing, like, because we don't, I don't think either of us are the nuts type of comedian.
Well, so I figured this out a little while ago, talking with somebody who said they enjoyed my set. I was like, yeah, I'm the right type of crazy. So
Yeah.
not this, it's more like a this kind of.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
that's the comedic way.
Yes.
But it's that's the funny thing is that I learned a long time ago. So both my ex-wife and current wife, they both approached me.
Yes, I was also really surprised when you said that to me for the first time.
I have proof.
Yes, and very both very attractive, and you know what?
No hunchbacks or anything like that. It's,
I mean, I have a bit about it, but like women like to motorboat too.
that's bullshit. So the funny thing was though, it kind of all came from a point in my life where I was like, I other friends had girlfriends and I didn't, and I was like, you know, what's wrong with me? Why don't I deserve companionship? Like it was a big, like it was very emotional for me. And then after like contemplating it, I realized like, you know what? I'm fat, but I'm not ugly.
Right.
I come from a good family. I come from good stock.
Yeah.
We have I have a house in Greece. We had like
Yeah.
all these things that I'm going. I'm a catch.
You have an
I'm
offering.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck off. If
I
you're
mean,
interested, you can come to me.
But
I don't have to go to you.
It's not the traditional offering, right? Like it's not like
Only
it's not
in North America.
Right.
The rest of the world, nobody gives a shit about being fat.
I mean, like
It's
with my ex, I'm sure I've shown you pictures because I'm very proud of it. But like she was much more attractive than me, and we got into this conversation probably like a year into dating. Like I eventually started asking her like, what was it about me that attracted you? Like I know what I look like. I'm aware. I'm
to poke a
observant,
balloon,
right?
but
Like,
just to
like you know like I know exactly what this is, right? Like
Yeah.
I own it. I've accepted it. But like, what was it? And then she was just like, you know what it was? It was your confidence. It was like
Yeah.
I didn't like. A lot of guys do this. Is like with a beautiful girl, they kind of treat them with an arm's length. They treat them like as though they are like a jewel, or like they like with
velvet gloves.
Exactly. But I just talked to her like a person. Like I talked to her like and then I was like, and I wasn't nervous around her, and she wasn't used to that a lot. Like because the way she looked, most people were like, they would stammer over themselves, or they would go too big and be like try and nag, or they would go and try and like do some sort of pickup line move. We met each other at during Welcome Week in first year. In a tent party that I wasn't supposed to be at because it was supposed to be for off-campus students.
Perfect.
And I was on campus, but just one of my friends from high school was went to this party, and this speaks to my confidence. They were checking people's names at the door, like to make sure that they were like off-campus students. I had a Gatorade bottle that was 70% rum, 30% blue Gatorade.
Perfect.
In my hand, and I just walked through the door. There was two security people. I just walked. I was to my roommate Carl. I was like, Carl, just follow my lead. We just walked in. We we belonged. No one stopped us, and we went in there, and we ended up having a great time. I was feeling great, and I met my who would go on to be my girlfriend. I just started dancing, and I was feeling it. I'm not the best dancer, but I'm confident.
Yeah.
I'm confident. Like we we went to that what was it, Sneaky D's yesterday, and it was a very urban crowd. My dance moves did not live up. Did not live up to that urban crowd.
That's the funny thing is, it doesn't live up. But you know what though?
But, like,
your commitment.
You'll love this. There was a circle you've been Sneaky D's. You know the second level there's.
I have not. I know where it is.
There's a second level. There's like a stage portion where the DJ is.
Right.
It's a smaller dance floor portion, but then there's a larger dance floor portion.
Okay.
I went to the. Went on the smaller dance floor portion. There was like a dance cipher, I guess that you could call it, where like they circle up, and it's just like I'm just gonna say there's a bunch of black guys that are amazing at dancing that take turns going in and showing their shit off.
Right.
Intermingled with
Dance for us.
with girls twerking, and then the rare white girl twerking like in the center. And then so I was feeling good and confident, and I went in there and tried to do some stuff, and it just died. It just, like, you know, like, people comment, like, yeah, it just went, Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I was like,
I took the hit and I was like, all right, we're moving it back.
yeah,
We're moving it
from
back.
yeah, to.
And then Amisha
Okay.
and Jordan went to me. Like they were beside me, and then they were like, they just went like, yeah, you just made me feel better about not doing that. You know, because
Yeah,
they
that
were
happens a lot,
considering it.
yeah.
They were considering it, and they were like, yeah, you just confirmed that we should not.
Yeah, that's I find I'm like, dude, I'm Greek. I have rhythm. I'm like I Greek dance. I know how to dance,
Yeah.
but I do not like drawing attention to it. Dude, and you know what? And I'm good at it, but
Yeah.
I'm like I do not like drawing attention to myself, and
Yes.
that's why I'm just like, hey, that's okay, and that's just fine.
It's a nice classic two-step.
That's
Yeah.
and you know, and people are just like, come on, let's go dance. I'm like, yeah, you can just eat shit and die. I don't
Yeah.
really care.
But I do love to dance, like
Oh, yeah.
especially, like
it's very enjoyable.
yeah, it's great. It's great, especially
Just
like.
as long as everyone's.
I mean,
someone else.
it sounds like we might kind of have similar brains in that we like I'm an overthinker most of the time.
yeah.
Like I'm super observant. It's really hard for me to stay in the moment. So like that's why I like to have a few drinks and when I'm
Yeah.
dancing. Not because I feel awkward about dancing.
No.
But it's kind of like I'm awkward. It's just that I'm very aware of what I'm doing.
Yes.
Right. So like I can't
It's
like
a
I'm doing this and
you-
like and then I'm just like oh, do my arms look weird? Like that's what I'm.
Of course.
Whereas like you know a few drinks
Same.
in, I'm just like we're doing this. This is what's happening.
It's to cloud your perception.
Yes.
It's that little. Yeah, I always like to make fun of my wife and tell her, I'm like, yeah, any conversation we have, I've already had 1,000 times in my head.
Yes. And
And
you're
it
not
is-
following the script. Well,
yeah, and that's why
I gave you the sides.
It's-
I gave you the sides.
and that's the funny thing is like
There's
every
parentheses. You were supposed to say that emphatically. That's what.
with Asian judgment.
Yeah.
It's but that's the funny thing is like, yeah, I always try and be prepared, and at that point it's like, yeah, I don't really jump into conversations a lot when we're at clubs and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I socialize, but I don't.
Like I said, you pick your moments.
Well, I talk when I have something to say,
Yes.
and that's actually I was outside the friend zone.
I need to
when you
learn
guys
that more.
hosted.
I need to learn that more.
It's-
I say a lot, and then sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You could be like, what's his face, Ryan Zeitz, and just not stop.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
And you're like,
yeah.
oh.
We actually talked about this with Andy. We like looked right at the camera. We were like, dude, cool it.
Well, this is the thing. I'm like, he's like a puppy,
Yes.
and you're like, dude, the house on fire. You know, just
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And a couple times I was like, do you have a volume button? Because
Yes.
you need to just. Oh yeah, sorry. And then
Well-
he doesn't change, and I'm like.
Well, me
okay.
and Andy, we kind of did this part where we were like, what are some rules that we could say? Like, because I think like the audience for this, like initially it'll be the family members and friends that I can beg to listen to it, right? And then I think it'll grow into hopefully it'll like branch out. People will tell people about
Sure.
it and it'll happen. But I think a lot of the people that'll listen to it will be newer comics that you know might
Yeah.
enjoy my company and be interested.
Sure.
And then so we said like, what are some rules that we can give out to people, or like just like guidelines on like how to conduct yourself in this, because no one tells you, right? Like when you're coming into it,
Yeah.
like one of the biggest things is like when you're trying to crack into a conversation with a group of comics, like you gotta come in a little bit with your tail in between your legs. You gotta come in and like we said, pick your moment. Like for like probably like the first like 3 or 4 months that I was doing it, if I was talking to people in a conversation, I kept quiet for most of the time. Like, and I waited until I had a joke that I knew was going to hit and kill and make everyone laugh,
Yeah.
and dropped it, gained people's respect, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then
There's a few things like that.
Yeah.
So like, I know for myself, anytime I go to an open mic for the first time, if it's my first time, I'll even try and go and observe. I just want to check it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, did you bring it in? No, I'm just here to hang out.
yeah,
You know, just to see what's going on.
yes,
And the funny thing is, a few times we're like, nah, you're going up. I'm like, all right, okay,
fair enough.
right? Other times, you know, one of the things is, and this actually really bothers the shit out of me. Just like I've said it on my sets, is that you know I grew up in a European household. Social etiquette is very important.
Yes,
So if I arrive, it's my job to go say hello
yes,
to everyone that's there.
that was a great conversation. Yeah.
However, a lot of people just kind of walk in and don't do that, and it really irks me to the nth degree. Like, it really bothers the shit out of me, because I'm like,
It's respect.
but it's not even about respect. It's just about, like, kindness costs you nothing.
Yes.
And being a prick,
Mm.
all it does is make you a prick.
Yeah.
So when you're like, hey, that's my response.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even people who I don't like or don't
Doesn't matter.
enjoy their company, sometimes I won't go up to them and shake their hand, but I'll do the bro nod.
Yeah.
I'll give you one of those, right?
So,
like and like
acknowledgement, yeah.
I mean, most of the time, like I don't want to go up and shake your hand because I don't
like
want
you.
you. And I don't want you to feel like you can talk to me.
Also
you,
true.
like you
And
can
that's
have
not,
the conversation.
You know what?
yeah.
And that's not.
We can be
wrong.
acquaintances. We're not going to be friends.
Kindness costs you nothing.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. Just because I don't like you
Mhm.
doesn't mean I have to be mean to you.
Yes.
And that's something I actually talked with our mutual little friend.
Yes.
Where I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you to go around like, well, I don't like this person.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Because all it does is make you look like an asshole.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
And
he's got a lot of like bottled up anger there.
You talk to somebody.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
like, I even said the same to him. I go, listen, man, this is the second time it's happened in
Yeah.
a very short period of time.
Mhm.
So if this is how you want to keep on doing things,
And
I'll
you
be
gave
on.
him great advice too. You what you said like was like one kind of Scotch, don't let him have the power. But the third thing you said, which I loved, was like take care of it on stage. If you're on the same show as him, this is what you said, and I remember because it was great advice. Like get yourself on the lineup right after him, and use your set to rip him apart.
Yeah.
Use your skill to do it. Like write bits like
Yeah, and don't be the aggressor. Let him
Yes.
come after you, and
Yes.
then okay,
yeah
because you the aggressor,
yeah
you're never gonna win. And that's the other thing where I'm like, honestly, like I told him, I go, so if this is what you're gonna keep on doing,
Mhm.
not interested, man.
Yeah.
I go, I
Yeah.
like you. I think you're a good guy. But what, are you gonna start doing that to me?
yeah
And he's like, no. I'm like, but you've done it twice in a very short period of time for no reason at all.
right.
Honestly, that's too much drama. So,
It's a little.
and
little
I
much.
just pushed. I go, that's not gonna work for me.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's good. Wait, do you mean like for you and I? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh. I'm like, dude, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't. I
I
honestly
respect people who are like who are honest, like and not in a dickish way. It's like if you like, I feel like that's like a huge sign of respect. Like that you care enough to say the truth to me, because like I mean for me, I can't speak for you, but like a lot of the times like with people like that I think something about them that I think they should know, I'm probably not going to tell them because I don't feel like I should be the one, or that they deserve to hear it from me.
It's not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like you guys have come up to be like, oh, who said you like the most? And I'm like, I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my own set.
Yeah.
I have no fucking problems.
No.
No, if somebody comes up to me and goes, hey, can you watch my set? And I'll be like,
Get your
absolutely,
feedback, yeah.
no question at
Yeah.
all. But
Yeah.
not my problem, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like no interest.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things where it's like,
Like
I try and
isn't
watch
it the
people- some
biggest
people's
like because comics don't watch sets, isn't it the biggest compliment when someone comes up to you and says that they like a bit, or like you haven't seen them in weeks and they remember one of your bits?
yeah.
That's like one of
Yeah.
the greatest compliments. Like even though I don't do that bit as much anymore, when people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm a man. Like when they do that, like I'm just like
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I got to, sort of my vocal cords got a little tired of doing that one, and I'm trying to like see if I can do it with a different energy with the same thing.
That has a lot of
It's
options.
It's a lot of options, but like
and worth experimenting with.
But yeah, I did it like I figured out how to do it in the middle of my set. It doesn't hit quite as hard, but
Yeah.
but because I don't do it yelling, I preface it by saying like I started to get into spoken word poetry, and I'm gonna do a little bit for you now.
Gross.
And then I do it like a
Yeah.
super serious like
I'm a man.
poetry
Yeah.
reading, like I am a man. Like
That's so horrible. I love it.
It's so silly.
And you know what? But that's the thing is, you have to experiment with that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because who knows what's gonna hit hard, right?
Yeah.
It's always unique. Can we take a break just so I can go for a swing? Is that okay?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We'll put a little pause on this.
Pause.
Yeah. Go for it. Recording again over here. Okay. That looks Gucci, and And now we are recording here. Okay. I think that should be, just make sure this is going again. Alright, and we're back. We're back. We just,
Awesome.
we had a nice little conversation outside, too. Yeah, so this is, you're a great person to talk to. I told you outside, but I just want to have it on the record so that we all know. So,
Thank you.
yeah, we were just having a chat outside about, like, wide ranging of things, but the gist of it is that we enjoy each other, and we respect that, like, I guess the crux of it was like we do comedy very differently,
Oh yeah.
but like how we approach stage
Yeah.
and everything is differently, but like I guess it's our voices, right? But
Yeah.
like we have a respect for how each of us does it, right?
Yeah, like the core principles are
Being funny?
very similar or fairly standard,
Mhm.
right? It's how you interpret them and how you expand on them that is unique to each person.
Right, it's like classical music. Like the
Yeah.
sheet music's there, but like you can interpret it and you can play it and put different emotions into it depending how you play it.
Which is hilarious, because how do you put emotion into the same note? And you're like, yeah, but you do. It's
It's with your body. It's with how you
your
bring
intensity,
people in, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's I think a lot of people.
That's what you
don't
said when I
understand.
played piano for like 5 seconds. When you saw me, you were just like
Loved it.
you were like immediately. Oh, you do play piano. You
Yeah.
you did it. You moved
Yeah.
with your body. You were
Exactly,
yeah.
and that's the funny thing is that those are admirable skills, and that's why I always I really enjoy comedy specifically, just because it's kind of I can do anything up there,
Mhm.
right? And that's a unique opportunity, but
And
that's why
I think we have that similar thing. We're both kind of control freaks ish in that like we like to be in, like, and I think that's personally that's why I enjoy comedy, because when I'm doing it perfectly, when everything's going how it's supposed to, I'm in control of what I'm saying, my timing. I know exactly what's going to come ahead. I know when I'm going to drop the hammer,
Yeah.
and I'm also in control of the audience. I know what to say, when to say it in the right inflection to make you have a involuntary reaction.
Right.
And it's a power trip, and like that's why like I think we both enjoy that, because like
Yeah.
you're truly in control.
yeah, or not.
Or, I mean, when you're bombing, that's a fun feeling too, because you're completely out of control, and that's an interesting feeling.
Yeah, it's kind of like a free fall. Like it's a but knowing
Yeah, that floaty feeling.
Yeah, but knowing you have a parachute.
Yeah.
It's that weird kind of thing, because even when you bomb, it's entertaining
Mhm.
and beneficial. Like
Also, I try to focus on like, oh, the comedians are loving this right now.
Oh yeah,
like
sure. And that's like it's
nothing makes me laugh harder than watching one of my friends bomb.
Oh yeah, especially when they're like, "This is gonna be awesome," and you're like,
Yeah.
"That was not smart to say."
I said this to Andy, and he got a little sensitive about it. It's like I love watching Andy prep for like go and get into his head for 10 to 15 minutes and then bomb. Like
well, that was a waste, yeah.
Because the lead up is so much funnier.
Oh yeah, it's no, it's hilarious that way. But that's and there's nothing more internally funny
Mhm.
than a bit that you've written that you're like, awesome,
Mhm.
and you do it and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Oh.
what the fuck just
And
happened?
when you go into them so confidently and
Oh,
they're just
yeah.
like, oh, nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay. And then you do something that you're like, well, all right, and it kills you. You're going, the fuck just happened? Like it's baffling.
Like I said about
But-
nickname, doesn't make me laugh.
But you know what? It works, and that's sometimes you have to make those choices too,
Yeah.
right? Where you're going, it's one of those if it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, okay, well, so be it.
This
right?
is the thing it is. All right, so we're coming up on almost an hour, and I want to get to my final questions so that we can round this out. And so my final question, it's a what it is I want you to tell me about your best day in your life. And what I mean by that is if you could wake up tomorrow morning and relive a day over again, you can't change anything, you can't do anything differently, but you get to go through it, like like a movie you love, you rewatch it, you pick up different things. What's a day that you would like to be able to go back to and do that and experience it?
Ooh.
And it doesn't have to like I call it best day, but like it doesn't have to be the best day.
Yeah.
Like
An
I love
event or
talking to you. I
something,
will
yeah.
definitely have you back on this.
Yeah, yeah.
So we will I look forward to hearing about other ones. But what immediately jumps to mind?
What immediately jumps to mind, so, have I ever shown you my thin picture?
No.
Okay. So, when I was, 18, turning 19, so as I said, I was always a big guy. I went on the Bernstein diet and lost 94 pounds in a matter of, about 3 months.
Wow.
And it literally just, like, destroys your body, right?
Yes, that doesn't sound sustainable.
So,
Don't you just yo-yo back up afterwards?
over time, right? Because
Yeah.
I was like working on stuff like that. So that was me.
Wow, you do have a great jawline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't know if it's
You might have
applicable. Maybe I'll you know what, you can send it to me later and I'll cut it in. I'll cut
Sure.
it in, like it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the funny thing was that it happened so quickly
Mm.
that you kind of don't realize. So all my clothing was kind of like hanging off me and stuff.
Yes.
And it was kind of one day I walked into the library and saw a bunch of people like, "What's wrong with your coat?" Because it's just kind of hanging off me.
Right.
So I went from like a XL, 2XL down to like a large, extra large kind of thing. And the funny thing was, like, even at my smallest, I was still 240 pounds. I
Right.
didn't have a gut.
You're
Well,
a thicker man.
I still had to, like, my suit size was still the biggest size suit you find in a normal store.
Right.
So like I'm still
You were
massive.
you were still shopping in the big and talls, right?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
like I just
Right.
like, and so the funny thing was my sister went and bought me a shirt and tie for my grad, so I went and bought a new suit, and essentially that was the first time I had bought new clothes that fit me.
Mm.
So I walk in for my grad at nighttime, and I'm walking down the hall, and literally everyone there was like, "What the
James
fuck?"
Bond?
They did not know what happened because it was such a rapid change and everything.
Right.
And it was that night, like, people were just like, their mouths were just hung open, and like, so I go by Dino. I've always gone by Dino.
Right.
But my real name is Constantine.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So in Greek, Constantine is Konstantino.
Yeah.
So I was named after my dad's
And
brother.
so you took the T, turned it into a D, and then
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
there is no D in Greek.
yeah.
It's NT.
Yes.
Is how it's. So I was named after this uncle of mine who had passed away, and he went by Costa. But my grandma, who was here at the time, she couldn't even say his name because it was so recent without tearing up. So I
Right.
went by Dino.
Because okay, all right.
Those are, you either go by Costa, Dino, or Costantino.
Yeah.
So I went by Dino, and so I even got introduced on stage. A close friend of mine was valedictorian, and so she introduced me as Constantine Bletsas, and everyone kind of in the class was like,
Who's that?
"Who's that?" And then I was on stage and I'm like, "Woo!" Like, it was very like, like it was.
Yeah.
And that was a great experience. The only frustrating part was right after when I started college.
Mm.
Like, I was being approached constantly, and I still had a fat guy mentality, but
Right, so you weren't used to the.
well, I was gorgeous though.
Yeah.
So it was.
They'll have seen the picture. They'll understand.
Yeah,
Yeah. You were good
and
looking.
when you're like, that was him, you can go
Yeah.
fuck yourself, just so you know.
Yeah.
But that's the funny part, is that I was like, all right, whatever.
Mm.
But it was hilarious because I had this confidence from high school
Right.
already, and now I kind of looked the part as well.
Right.
So it was a very unique, that night specifically.
Mm.
Like, people were just like
Confused
like,
and
oh, they had
all of that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because it was such a fast chase. That would probably be one of the yeah, that was one of the craziest
Moments.
just like being someone who studied, like, really, I love to observe human behavior. I really enjoy
That's why
that.
we do what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Do you love people watching? Like when you go to the mall with your wife, like and she's like, are you bored? I'm like, no, I'm having a great time.
I've said it before. Like, remember a few years ago we had the G20.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity to watch a group turned into a mob is a very unique opportunity,
Mm.
and it's a very subtle change to be able to observe.
It's almost chemical.
Absolutely, and to have it in Canada is a million times more of a unique opportunity. However, this
Right.
cannot be in that environment because I will get tased
Right.
immediately without
You look
having
like
done
you're
anything.
inciting something. Yeah.
I'm a threat.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
You look like a cult leader.
Well, dude, I've been pulled over by cops, and I was driving my wife's car. It's very small,
Yeah.
and he's like, license registration. I'm like, I'll be honest, officer, I can't reach my wallet unless I get out of the car. So like, I have my hands visible. He's like, okay, well, just take it slow and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's like I start getting out, and then I just keep on getting out, and I'm like, when I'm like 2/3 of the way done getting out, he's already backed up and kind of started reaching back, going,
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck are you? And I'm
Yeah.
like, everything's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no problem, man.
Calm
Just
down, yeah.
Everybody stay relaxed, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, so it's those kind of things. I love watching Human River, and that experience at my high school graduation was definitely one of, it was a very unique opportunity.
So you'd
that
like to
I
go back
really
and be
enjoyed.
able to just like
Be a fly on the wall.
Yes,
Just
and
to see even
well,
more.
like I said, like rewatch the movie, just
Oh,
get
yeah.
a chance to see the faces, get the nuances and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that's so much fun. Like
It was funny because they had the listing of where you had to go, which classroom to get your rail robe and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
In one area, and then you kind of had to walk through the hallways. And where I was
This is a
almost
big
kind
school, by the way.
yeah, we had like 1,200 students. It's
Big one.
fairly big,
Mine
yeah.
had like 600, so like 600 staff an hour. It was a smaller school, yeah.
So, the room that I was in kind of was almost at the end of having to walk by all of the other
So
rooms.
you went on
So-
parade.
It was like this, you know.
And you heard the
Well,
whispers. Is that Dino?
Yeah, people were like,
He looks fucking great.
well, not even that. People were just going, what? And I went, and he was like, I didn't.
It's like a
have-
girl that like goes away from someone comes back with tits, right? Like
Exactly. Well, and worse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Tits without acne, like that kind of yeah. You know, that kind of puberty.
You know,
Yeah.
you pick your moments. That was a great.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
No, you caused a physical change in my body.
It was, and that's the funny thing is like I didn't have girlfriend. Like, dude, I saved myself for marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. Granted, I got married when I was 21,
Yeah.
but still, like I was raised.
Do you have any regrets about that, or like it all like went into the pie, right?
Yeah, I don't have any regrets in my life, really.
Right.
I've made some choices that I don't know if they were necessarily the right choices, but I wouldn't change the choice I've made.
Mm.
You know, I can't.
That's a great thing to hear.
Yeah,
That means
like,
you've owned yourself. Like you
Yeah.
you know who you are,
Well, I know that those choices affected
and
others.
they created the person that's here today.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, you know, I wouldn't change what I did, but I don't know that what I did was the most correct.
Right.
You know, it was what I wanted to do, and I
Yes.
wouldn't change it. So it's that weird kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So walking through the school, looking, you know, like a solid 8.5, 9,
Mm.
if not 12, whatever.
Mm.
But in front of all these girls that never paid me any mind whatsoever, was just.
Yes.
It was, you know what? It was the equivalent to, like, killing at a room
Yes.
where you know no one.
Mm.
It was one of those where you're like.
Killing with strangers, nothing
It's
better. Yeah.
killing with strangers, and even having comics coming up afterward and going, wow. You
Yeah.
know? Like, those kind of.
Do you love this? Is like I can't remember who. I think it was with Jeremy that I talked about it. But the best one of my favorite things. It was when someone comes up to you after a show or like after your set or whatever, and comes up to you and then says like that was a great set, man. And, like looks
Yeah.
you right in the head, says it, but then realizes other comics that were on the show are standing next to you,
And
and
say
then
nothing.
no, even better. They go like, oh, and you were good too. That's one of my favorites because it's so insincere, but like the insincerity of that part amps up the sincerity of the thing that was said to you.
Well, it just creates that bigger gap.
Yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
you haven't really increased, but they've just gone so much lower.
Yes.
That happened to me at Harwood the first
Mm.
time I went.
One of the hardest places I've killed. I did 19 minutes there, and did amazing. It was awesome.
So I went, and I was a little concerned about doing 10 minutes because I had done something the other day and it didn't really work, and
Right.
I was kind of a little bit.
Apprehensive?
I was nervous. I was
Yeah.
nervous, right? I go in, don't really know anybody. A couple guys ate shit. I go up, do my thing, kill it hard, to the point where like I had the whole room. It was afterward. KD, the black guy who's there normally there, he walks up to everybody's kind of sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, you were good, you were good, you were good, you were good." Looks at me and goes, "You were fantastic." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And I was just like,
that's cool. He saved it for the end.
Yeah, he really. The thing is, I was on that side of the table, and he did this, then this, and then me, and I was just like, and there were comics that I knew that were sitting beside me, and they were kind of like, and I was like,
yeah. Well, because you see it in their shoulders. That's just me telling that was my reminder to get to the last question. What we did, but like you see their shoulders kind of like shift a little bit.
Well, that's the funny thing. It was like a couple of them ate shit.
Yeah.
Like they tried to do crowd work, and it just because outside of the city people are starved for comedy.
Yeah.
Right. So they
and they laugh at everything. They're ready to laugh.
Well, they just want you to do dance, right?
Yes.
Just do your thing.
Yeah.
So when you try and
whereas
do
in
crowd
Toronto
work,
they're like impressive.
Yeah. And so you try and people are trying to do crowd work, and it's not that good. And they're just like, I don't care, right? And then I've seen a couple guys there specifically where they
You have to
really
do great material to deserve to do crowd work.
well.
Like you got to set your you got to own the stage because then you can only do crowd work if you've already established yourself as in control. Like I don't do much crowd work because I'm not. I don't think I like because I'm so starved for stage time that like I want to get to the shit I've written.
Yeah.
Right. So like.
I'll try that out. Yeah.
But like when I do crowd work, like, you have to do it from a place of security. You have to like already like they have to respect you so that they don't like feel like they can heckle you.
It's not just
once you
that.
start that conversation,
They have to respect you enough to want to be part of your show. It's
Good way
that.
to put
It's
it.
that. They want to be part.
Yeah.
This is. I want to be. And me too. Me
Yes,
too.
Yes.
You know, and it's funny because I don't really do much crowd work unless you cross me,
Yes.
and then I do.
You have to adjust the room. Yeah.
Well, and then I make you eat shit.
Right.
But ultimately, that's not really my shtick.
Yeah.
So these guys were doing it. And
Self-awareness
it
is a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah. They tried it, failed horribly. And then a couple other guys, they just, you know when you go up there and you just look like you're telling people they shouldn't bother listening to you?
Yes. Like,
That
if you
was-
don't believe it, why should I?
If you don't think you're funny, why should I? Why should I give you a chance?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like, I like going up when people have been bombing for a while, and then you just go up and you're just like, I'm here. You're gonna. This is. I own this, right? Like it's almost like you're saying like I don't care like what you think. Like I know I'm funny. I know this material. Like I know this is good. Like I might be doing a couple of new things I'm apprehensive about, but I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna own this. It's like
I'll earn the right.
I'm gonna live and
guide
die
you.
by my sword.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first night of Comedy Gold, which was horrific.
It's a rough room.
Well, there was nobody there,
Yeah.
and it was, and I ended up going last, so I'm like, oh, thank you for that.
Yes.
But Brovo was on stage, and he's like, you know, I don't get certain things. Like, the most confident person I know is Dino,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what's
not to get?
Yeah, and I'm like, why doesn't that make sense? And he just kind of.
Was that like a veiled fat joke or something, or like?
Well, yeah.
He talks a lot about his muscles, and
right, exactly.
I'm not sure what he's compensating for.
It's a North American thing. Being thin makes you pretty. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't make you pretty.
Well, I mean, in the
This
old
makes you
time,
pretty.
in the old times, like if
Being
you
fat makes
if you were fat, that meant you were rich, right? Like it meant you had enough money to be able to eat that much food.
And the rest of the world very much still has that perception.
Yeah.
And if you're tall,
That's
that means
like
you come from good stock.
in Asian cultures, like if you have a fat kid, that means you're rich, right? Because and that's why like people fatten their kids up, right?
And that's why I'm like, that's a very North American thing. Oh, I have a good body, so I'm good looking. No, that's not how that works, right?
I find I do look better when I'm in better shape.
Sure.
But
It adds value.
Yes.
But it
It's
doesn't
not.
make,
It's
doesn't
not
make
the.
you pretty.
It's not.
It doesn't-
It's not the main thing.
And that's why he said that, and I'm like, why doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
And he just kind of like had a brain fart. He's like, did that face, and then was like, moving on because he just didn't know what to say. And I'm just like, yeah, there's confidence is.
There's other types of people.
It's like it doesn't make a difference, right? Like.
Well, confidence. It's like I think a lot of people put like confidence is like other people recognizing competence, like thinking you're confident. That's not what confidence is. Like you know yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like and you're like I like we said earlier. Like, this is it. This is what I'm offering. Like either you're gonna like it or you're gonna not. And that's the crux of it.
That's in perfect immigrant fashion. My dad would be like it or lump it, and I'm like, I don't even know what that meant, but I love it. You know,
It's a good saying.
it's a great saying, and you're just like, because the fact is, well, oh, you don't like it? I don't. You think I'm doing this for you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, right? And that's it. But
Well, this has been incredible, man. I feel like I've gotten like we've kind of jumped a few rungs in like how we got to like how much we know each other and stuff.
absolutely,
And like go
I
back
enjoy
to
it.
insecure middle schooler, like I feel like we're friends. But I mean yeah. But I feel like I found like a kindred spirit. Like a lot of things, like it seems like we approach like life and like despite the fact that we're separated by like I don't know 20 years of like you living life like
20
like,
years and 200 pounds.
Yeah, like but like I
Yeah.
feel like we kind of have the same sort of things going on in our brains, and I enjoy that we found that.
It's nice to find someone else who's not a complete idiot.
Yes.
It's, we all have our moments, but it's hard to find people who aren't.
Well, thank you so much for doing this,
Well,
and
thank you for having
and I
me.
appreciate you being one of the first few episodes, and I like that. I know that people will enjoy this. So
I hope so.
because I enjoyed it, and I know what's right. Thank you so much, brother.
You have a degree in that. Thank
yes,
you for having
yes.
me. I had a great time. Thank you.
All right. Well, stay tuned for next week, and if you want to like say what your social media and stuff is, so people can.
Instagram is.
It'll be in the description too, because
Sure.
I'll get it in there.
Instagram is at Dino the Genetic Marvel. I do have a Twitter, but I've never tweeted anything.
Yes.
Then what else do I have other than that? I do have a YouTube channel which has some older stuff. I haven't posted in a while there just because I'm working on a bigger thing. But that's just Dino the Genetic Marvel on YouTube. You can see me smack a guy in the face. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's the first time I did it. It took him right off his chair. It's great.
That was great.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
But so I try and share all my stuff. I'm regularly at the Friend Zone every Wednesday.
At the Cameron House.
At Cameron House.
Yeah.
And it's Comedy Gold at Toronto Style in the Junction on Saturdays normally. And Rusty Nail in the West End.
And
on the East End. At close to Danforth, the Wet Wine.
and the week that I drop this, I'll message you, and then
Sure.
I'll record an intro saying like where you are that week. So,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that'll be fun.
I absolutely appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Ciao.